Have you ever stopped to reflect on the impact your absence can have on someone's life? It's surprising how a simple act of detachment can completely redefine the dynamics of a relationship. Today we're going to dive into a powerful approach inspired by Stoicism, the art of stepping back so that the other person realizes what they've lost. This isn't about manipulation, but about recognizing your intrinsic value and allowing it to shine brighter than any words. As a philosopher wisely observed, distance makes the heart grow fonder. Sometimes it is in absence that our true importance is understood. This isn't just an invitation to retreat, but to rediscover your inner strength in such a way that it cannot be ignored. Imagine the courage it takes to redirect your energy toward yourself, channeling it into your personal growth and evolution. By doing so, you not only create a vacant space, but build a version of yourself that radiates self-confidence and resilience. It's not about forcing someone to miss you, but about transforming into someone impossible to forget. Picture this. You are like a lighthouse on a dark night. Your presence brings safety, clarity, and direction. Now think about what happens when that light is turned off. The sea, once calm and secure, becomes uncertain and dangerous. Those who once navigated under your light are left with no choice but to reflect on how much they depended on it. Has this ever happened to you? Maybe a colleague who, without realizing it, relied on your ideas, or a friend who considered your company a constant. And then, in your absence, they started to notice the void left by your departure. The issue isn't just about the impact of your absence, but about the power you have when you choose where to invest your attention. By focusing on yourself, you not only regain your energy, but you transform into someone who attracts respect and admiration. Think of it as a new phase, an opportunity to rise beyond expectations and create a space where your absence becomes a living reminder of the value you offer. In doing so, you not only inspire others to value your presence, but also reaffirm your own value, which is unwavering and incomparable. Number 1, the impact of absence. Think of a situation where you've always been the anchor, the one who reaches out first, suggests meetups, and checks in on others. But then one day you shift your course. You decide to take a break. You don't send that routine good morning message, don't initiate conversations, and your once constant presence dissolves into a noticeable silence. It's like being in a park full of birds singing, and suddenly the sound stops. There's a palpable void, a silence that makes you pay attention to what once seemed natural. This emptiness is more than just the absence of gestures. It's a catalyst for realizing how much you were filling invisible spaces in the other person's life. Now imagine a scene in a theater. During a play, an actor unexpectedly leaves the stage. If the story continues unharmed, perhaps that role was just secondary. But if the absence creates a hole in the narrative, a moment of confusion or loss, it becomes clear just how essential that actor was. The same applies to human connections. If your absence doesn't make a difference, maybe you were investing energy in something that didn't need you. And that's not a bad thing. On the contrary, it's an opportunity to redirect your focus to where it truly matters. But most of the time, this void is intensely felt. It acts like a mirror, forcing the other person to confront just how much your presence was a part of the structure of their life. The realization that something essential has been taken away starts to take shape. Your absence can become a message in itself, echoing in the mind of the person who feels it. The comfort and security you provided were not just routine gestures, but an invisible foundation. It's at this moment that people begin to realize just how indispensable you were. This impact of absence isn't just an awakening for the other person, but also a reaffirmation for you. It allows you to see the true value you brought to the relationship, realizing that by stepping back, you didn't lose but gained clarity about your role. Sometimes it's in absence that the seeds of gratitude and recognition begin to bloom, and as this happens, you rediscover your inner strength, a strength that turns silence into a powerful echo, capable of leaving a mark that will never be erased. Number 2, discovering the true value of your presence. After the initial impact caused by your withdrawal, something begins to change. At first, perhaps the person tries to adapt to the new routine. But as the days go by, a persistent feeling starts to arise, a void that cannot be ignored. It's not just about the absence of messages or meetings, but about the lack of your essence, your energy, your genuine attention. That particular way you brought lightness and clarity to their days. This is where a truth begins to reveal itself. The value you added was much deeper than it seemed at first. In the frantic pace of life, it's easy to fall into the trap of assuming that people will always be there, especially those who seem to be constantly available, ready to help and support. But by taking a step back, you change the dynamic. The central piece you represented in the puzzle of their life is now missing, and the once complete image now seems incomplete. Think of a road you travel every day, almost without noticing the details around it. But one day the road is blocked. It's only then that you realize how much you depended on it to reach your destination. This is the impact of your absence. As the days pass, they begin to remember the little moments, the conversations that lifted their spirits, the way you listened attentively and offered advice that always seemed to hit the mark. They remember the shared laughter and how your presence made even the most ordinary days feel a little special. Now that touch is gone, replaced by a silence that echoes, a silence that forces them to reflect. Why didn't I value this more? What was so unique that now I miss it so much? Imagine that you go to a cafe every morning and order the same special tea. It's such a regular part of your routine that you never stop to truly appreciate it. But one day, the cafe stops serving that tea. Suddenly you realize how much that small ritual meant to you, how it enriched your mornings. This is the realization that arises over time. They begin to understand that your presence was a rare gift, a constant that could not be replaced. And now, without it, the small moments of the day seem a little colder, the difficulties a little heavier, and the laughter a little scarcer. As a wise voice once said, "Value is not in what is obvious, but in what transforms silently." By making space for your absence to be felt, you not only reveal the impact you had, but also remind yourself of how much you are worth. This is more than just a lesson for them, it's an awakening for you. Your presence is something unique, something that deserves to be recognized and valued. By stepping back, you're not just allowing them to see this, but also reaffirming your own importance. And so, when they look at the void that's left, something powerful happens. They begin to understand that you were not just part of their routine, but someone who made all the difference. And maybe this time they're ready to treat your presence as the irreplaceable gift that it is. Number 3, the impact of the void left by your absence. After the initial silence and realization of the value you brought, a deeper feeling begins to emerge. It's not just the longing for messages or conversations, it's the recognition of a more significant void, a space in their lives that your presence uniquely filled. This emptiness goes beyond words. It manifests in the small moments. The message that used to brighten the morning, the advice that comforted on difficult days, the conversations that lit up ordinary afternoons. Now, without that, the days feel heavier, as if something essential is out of place. Imagine a library that loses its most read book. Other volumes are still there, but that empty space on the shelf seems to scream that something important is missing. That's the impact of your absence. It's not just a practical change, but an emotional sensation that echoes in every interaction you used to have. They try to move forward. They continue with their routines, attempting to fill the space with new activities or other people. But no matter how hard they try, they discover that what you offered cannot be replaced. Because it wasn't about what you did, but about who you were. Your authenticity, your energy, and the way you made them feel seen and valued were irreplaceable. Think of a winter day without the sun. People may wear warmer coats or seek shelter, but no effort can replace the natural warmth that only the sun can provide. That's exactly how your absence manifests. No matter how much they try, the void persists because you are irreplaceable. This empty space also serves as a reminder. It not only reflects the lack of something, but highlights the impact you had. Each moment of absence reinforces how much of a difference you made, turning ordinary situations into something special. As a thinker once said, sometimes you have to feel the cold of absence to recognize the warmth of presence. Your absence now resonates as a constant echo, reminding them that your presence wasn't just pleasant, but essential. And as they deal with this absence, the understanding deepens. It's not just longing for anyone, but for you, for the way you illuminated the simplest moments, for the security you conveyed with your presence. In this void, a lesson reveals itself. When something truly matters, its absence is felt in every detail. Number 4, the awakening of curiosity. After the feeling of emptiness you left behind, something new begins to emerge. An unsettling curiosity. It's not just about wondering why you withdrew or what's happening in your life. It's something deeper, an impulse to understand how your absence impacts the bigger picture now that you're no longer part of their routine. Imagine this. They're scrolling through social media and suddenly they realize it's been a while since they last heard anything about you. Days or even weeks have passed without a word from you, and without realizing it, they start to question, what could you be doing now? How is your life? Are you moving on without them? These questions begin to pile up, and over time, the curiosity intensifies. They begin searching for clues, perhaps revisiting your social media, trying to piece together the puzzle left by your absence. This awakening of curiosity isn't just about discovering where you are. It reflects a shift in how you're perceived. Before, you were predictable, always present, without any mysteries. Now, by stepping away, you've become an enigma, something mysterious and intriguing. Think of a movie where the plot takes an unexpected turn. What once seemed like a regular story now becomes a journey full of surprises. Suddenly, the unknown becomes irresistible. As philosopher Lao Tzu once said, knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom. This perfectly mirrors what they begin to feel. They realize that maybe they didn't know you as well as they thought. Your absence reveals layers of you they never explored, sparking the flame of curiosity. Now they feel the need to understand more, to rediscover who you are. The search for answers may lead to a desire to reconnect, to understand how you've changed, what has happened in your life during this period of distance. They begin to see you not as the person who was always available, but as someone with stories and depths yet to be discovered. You become more interesting, captivating, and once again, your absence speaks for you, drawing them back in. It's like trying to quench a thirst that never disappears. They're not just missing someone's company, but specifically you, in a personal and profound way. As Brazilian writer Clarice Lispector once said, longing is a pain that hurts, but nourishes the soul. Their longing intensifies, offering a new perspective on what you meant to them. They start to view the relationship with new eyes, appreciating details and moments they might have overlooked before. This feeling grows, transforming into an irresistible desire to reclaim what was lost, to recover the connection that once existed between you. Once again, your absence becomes an active presence, creating an increasing desire to reconnect with what they now consider essential in their life. 5. The weight of regret. As curiosity and longing grow, a new and deep feeling begins to emerge. regret. It's not just a fleeting reflection or a momentary feeling, it's a painful realization that perhaps they took you for granted, that they failed to recognize the significance of what you brought to the relationship while you were still together. Imagine this. In a moment of solitude, this person starts recalling the times spent with you. As the hours pass, they begin to notice the small acts of care and the sacrifices made for them, things that were once overlooked or neglected. Perhaps they thought your devotion was guaranteed, that you would always be there, regardless of how you were treated. Now, faced with the emptiness left by your absence, these memories take on much greater weight. Regret becomes a constant presence, with questions like, what if I had been more present? What if I had shown more gratitude? Or what if I had appreciated who they were more? These thoughts become an emotional burden, difficult to carry, as they are tied directly to missed opportunities, moments when they could have strengthened the connection, but didn't. As philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, regret is the weight of the history we carry, and this weight can either crush us or make us stronger. This feeling of regret becomes sharp, as it is linked to the impossibility of going back and correcting what was done or left undone. Time cannot be reversed, and this realization brings a sharp pain of loss. However, regret can also serve as a catalyst for change. It can be the force that drives them to reevaluate what truly matters, to recognize the value of what they lost, and perhaps even attempt to reconcile if there's still time. Your absence then conveys a clear message. I should have valued you while I had the chance. As this regret grows, your absence speaks louder than any words could. It carries a clarity and force that nothing else could express. 6. The allure of the unknown. As time passes, something fascinating begins to happen. Your presence is now viewed through a new lens, shrouded in an intriguing mystery. When you were always available and present, everyone knew what to expect from you. But by stepping away, you become a mystery, something unpredictable and captivating. They no longer know what you're doing or thinking, which creates a sense of disorientation. This sparks a desire to discover, a fascination with what is no longer clear or obvious. Who is following your journey now? What are you exploring without them? The mystery you've created makes them even more drawn to you, eager to unravel the secrets of your life. As the philosopher Heraclitus once said, a person's character is revealed in what they do not say. Your absence creates an aura of mystery, and the less they know, the more they become fascinated by who you really are and what you're experiencing. The allure doesn't stem only from what you have or do, but from what is now out of their reach, creating a layer of complexity around your personality. You become an enigma that sparks curiosity, and that curiosity only brings them closer, even when you are physically distant. This subtle but powerful effect of being a mystery is transformative. It makes them want to learn more about you, understand the new dimensions of your life, and in a way lose themselves in the desire to comprehend you. And the more you distance yourself, the deeper this fascination grows. Silence, emptiness, curiosity, regret. All these feelings, though uncomfortable, are gateways to a new perception, both for you and for the person around you. As the great philosopher once said, what is lost often gains even greater significance over time, as absence makes the heart recognize the value of something that seemed taken for granted. But remember, the key lies within you. It's not about playing games or manipulating others, but about understanding your value, stepping back when necessary, and letting your true power speak for itself. You don't need to force yourself to be noticed. True transformation comes from within, and it's in this space of self-confidence and self-respect that others will begin to perceive your absence in its most powerful form. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share with someone who may need to hear this. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content on living authentically and stronger. Until the next video.